me. Verse 35. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. Verse 36. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world? Somebody say, whole world. And loses his own soul. Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Verse 38, for whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him the Son of Man also will be ashamed when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. I want to read the same verses in the New Living Translation. It says, then calling the crowd to join his disciples, he said, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways, take up your cross and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the good news, you will save it. Listen to verse 36. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? And really listen to verse 37. Is anything worth more than your soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my message in these adulterous and sinful days, the Son of Man will be ashamed of that person, and when he returns in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. Somebody say amen. You may take your seats. Too many times, young people, even adults, do we come to youth conferences and youth revivals. Or we'll have a youth explosion, and man, we go and we'll sing and we'll dance and we'll step all over the stage and we'll have a real good time, amen? Or we'll go outside and have a praise party, or we'll shout and call ourselves having a real good time. And we hear a word preached and we run to an altar. Because we feel conviction. We feel like, wow, this preacher is preaching all in my business. He's telling me my life story, but he doesn't even know me. Too many times do we come to a church service and a youth conference and we get all pumped up. And we feel convicted and we go to the altar and we say, God, I'm sorry. I don't want to live like I've been living before. And we say we're going to change. We say we're going to live a new life. We say we're not going to do the same things we used to do. But oh, we're fired up and we pumped up. We're ready to tear down the kingdom of hell. We're telling everybody about Jesus and how good God is and all the other great things that we get pumped up about. It's like we step up to the plate. We step up to the challenge. And we're good for a few days. Maybe in a couple weeks. Maybe even a month if you stretch it. But the devil will slowly creep back in. And he'll begin to mess with us. And before we know it, we have backed down from the promises and the commitments that we have made to God at an altar, in a youth conference, in a youth revival, in a youth service. We say, God, I'll run after you. I'll serve you. I'll worship you. I'll praise you. I'll magnify you. I'll lift you up. Yeah, we make all those promises. Why everybody in here is doing the same thing. But what about when the rubber meets the road and we're standing in the face of temptation and we're standing in the face of the devil and looking that temptation and that peer pressure in the eye? We too soon forget the promises and the pact that we made with God, saying, God, I'll serve you. God, I'll worship you. God, I'll praise you as long as I'm in church. Absolutely not, young people. It is time that we, as a generation that's on the rise, say, you know what? I'm not worried about my friends. I'm not worried about being popular. For God I live, and for God I die. I don't live for sex. I don't live for drugs. I don't live for being popular. But God, I'll live for you. I'll serve you. I'll walk up right before you. I won't come to a youth conference and a youth convention and catch on fire and be a flame of fire and then walk out 3 days later and I'm back doing the same old things, the same old pattern, the same old lifestyle. Understand this, young people, there comes a day and a time when you got to make up your mind. If you were there at our church last Friday, I preached about making up your mind. The mind is a powerful tool, a powerful instrument, a powerful thing that God has placed in our bodies. And oh, when we make up in our minds, saying, God, I'm drawing the line in the sand. I don't care if I got to stand up by myself, but I'm declaring and I'm determining in my heart, in my mind, in my body, my soul, and my spirit, that God, you're all I need. You promised you would be everything that I have need of in the time that I need it the most. But too many times we come in here and catch on fire and saying, God, I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I've served you always. And before you know it, you have backed down off your promise because it didn't feel good. You couldn't handle the folks talking about you. You couldn't handle doing right for too long. So you had to go back. All the old feelings, the old desires came back. You came to the altar and said, God, I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do it no more. Then when the desires came back, it was like, God, I really don't want to do it. But the feeling, I just want to have sex one more time. It's just the desire is there. It's like, boom, I got to get it. I got to hit it. I got to feel it one more time. I got to have that experience one more time. I got to have it. Or I got to smoke this. Because my mind, I've got too much on my mind. I just need to be free. I asked somebody the other day, well, how does marijuana, how does weed make you feel? He says, man, it just takes you to a new place. You don't have a care in the world. I said, my God, there is no experience that the world can offer young people that will ever match the presence and the power of God. It is real, it is genuine, it is authentic, it is alive, and it will walk with you, talk with you, live with you, breathe in you, and move with you. But it's up to you to say, God, I want your spirit to live inside of me. I want your spirit to reign and rest and rule in my life. God, I want the God in me to come alive so I can serve you, so I can worship you, so I can reach